reach it.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm driving a 2016 Ford Fiesta SFE. Up front is a 1.0 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, and down below is a 5-speed manual gearbox. And if you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, where I'll be writing a full written review of the Ford Fiesta SFE. But let's get back to that 1.0 liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder. Well, surprisingly enough, the turbocharged 3-cylinder is not only an $800 option as opposed to the 4-cylinder, but it actually makes more power with that turbo than the 4-cylinder Fiesta. So this isn't the base of the base, but this is pretty close to the base model. That being said, this isn't the most sluggish thing in the world, and I'm delightfully surprised by that. Granted, it's only around 140 some horsepower, but the car's really only about 2,500 pounds. So really, it's not that bad of a combination. Plus, the owner, Zach, which thank you, Zach, for letting me do this review. I really appreciate it. Zach gets 41 average miles to the gallon. 41! The best I've ever done in my G6, my commuter car, is around 33 to 34. Now, like I said, paired to it is this 5-speed manual transmission. Clutch is super light, super easy to shift, super easy to get used to. The only thing is that this throw is really long. It's just a long throw. It would definitely benefit from a short throw shifter. And I believe I actually said that about the Fiesta ST, which also, if you haven't seen the Fiesta ST review, I'd highly recommend checking that out. I'll link it at the end of the video because I'm going to be referencing it a lot. And also, if you're looking to buy a Fiesta, I think you should weigh your options. You should also look into Fiesta STs. This car is also front-wheel drive. That should go without saying. Now let's talk about the interior. In front of me, I have pretty plain Ford blue gauges. On the right, I have my speed. On the left is the tachometer. In the middle is fuel. And up above that, I have outside temperature, MPG, and the heat of the engine. Nothing really crazy there. In the middle, I have what looks like the smallest screen ever put into a modern car. Down below that, I have all my controls for media, the radio, phone, Bluetooth, all that stuff. And to the right, I actually have a number pad for the phone as well, which is kind of interesting. Down below that, I have my heating and air controls. And then I have the shifter, which is nearly blocked by nothing. It's a very plain shifter. And down below that is the aux cord and a cigarette lighter, which is really nice that this car has an aux cord. Really, as long as you have a dongle for you iPhone users, you can pretty much listen to anything, which is really nice. As a part of the SFE, this car also has an 8-speaker audio system, which is really nice. This car does have a sunroof, and you guys know I love sunroofs, but this is not the best sunroof. Reason number one, it's not the best sunroof, is that it's kind of in the middle of the car. I don't know if you can see it up here on the camera. It's kind of in the middle, which it's kind of awkward. And second of all, it's kind of cheaply built. It like the actual cover thing, like it's literally just like a piece of metal that they threw fabric over and put up there. It's not well built. It's obviously a money-saving feature. Yes, it's nice to have that cover. It's really nice to have that, but I don't mind when auto manufacturers are cheap, because this is a cheap car. This is meant to be accessible to everyone, and I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But when it's very noticeably cheap, when it just seems like an afterthought, I mean, like, see, look, now it's not even closing properly. Like, this car has 4,000 miles on it. Like, stuff should still be working normally. Now, my big question with the Fiesta is, how's the back seat? Because I like I said, I did the Fiesta ST review, and I was delightfully surprised at the roominess of the back seat. Not that it was roomy per se, but just it beat my expectations for room. So let's hop in back and see if the SFE 4-door sedan beats my expectations as well. So, like I did in the Fiesta ST review, let me get in back, close the door. All right, so like I said in the Fiesta ST review, it's a little cramped for space, but back here, headroom has now become an issue because the roof slopes, droops. Since the roof goes down, unlike the hatchback where it stays flat, headroom is a bit of an issue. So again, if you actually had to take some people, this definitely works. You can definitely, if I spread out my legs and, kneel down a little bit, my head isn't touching. And I'm 5'11", if that's any indication if you'll fit back here. If you kind of droop down a little bit, it's not the worst thing in the world. The other really nice thing about this Ford Fiesta ST is just how quiet it is. I'm not raising my voice. I'm talking actually quieter than I normally talk. And I'm going to roll down the window. There's a slight ticking noise that's from the direct injection of the actual engine. And there seems to be someone vacuuming in the distance. But that's it. That's all you hear. This thing is so dang quiet. See, they stopped vacuuming. Wow. So I was excited to do this review for a couple of reasons, and I know sometimes I get some crap in the comments of people saying like, oh, we don't care about SFEs, we don't care about Fiestas, we don't care about economy cars, we want to see you review more fun cars. Like, I've reviewed in the past a Nissan GTR, I've reviewed a Hellcat, I've reviewed a BMW M550i, supercharged Camaros, Mustangs, Turbo Z31. I've done a lot of very interesting cars. Why would I want to do, honestly, such a mundane, ununique car? Well, there's two reasons for that. First of all, like I said, I've driven those high horsepower cars, and I think it's a good practice to then drive kind of the cheapest cars, the lowest end cars, to kind of keep everything in perspective, because I see all these automotive YouTubers and they're reviewing, Bugattis and Lamborghinis, and they're like, oh, Lamborghinis are boring, compared to whatever. And it just makes me think, like, I feel like they've lost touch. And so I like to do these reviews because it helps me keep in touch of those cars are truly insane. The GTR is freaking insane. The second reason is because of nostalgia. My friend Felix, which Felix, I know you're watching. Hey Felix. He took me out one night in his mom's 3-cylinder turbo Fiesta. I believe it's the same year of 2016. And he taught me, Derek and Garrett taught me how to rev match and downshift, which was super nice. And so, yes, I have an RX-7, but the car I learned how to rev match on was a 3-cylinder turbo Fiesta. So going back to that, when I said that this was a cheap car, I didn't mean that this is in any way a crappy car. Zach picked this up for about $10,000 with 2,000 miles on it. That's an insane deal. And so this being one of the cheapest cars you can buy in America today, you could get one for around $14,500, $15,000. A sub $20,000 car you would think wouldn't be great, but honestly, I've been driving this car for quite some time now, and I drove Felix's Fiesta for pretty much a whole night, and I have to say, for the money, these are great cars. Really truly great cars. They're affordable, they're spunky, they're not fast, but they do have a little bit of edge to them. They're not complete duds. So I think what it really comes down to, at least in my eyes, is if you are really looking for a quick, affordable Fiesta, go with the Fiesta ST. They're a lot quicker than this. They're a lot more performance-based. They have a lot more performance backing, per se. You could buy a lot more parts for them. Cobb will tune the car for you, all this stuff. So if really performance is at the forefront of your mind, check out the Fiesta ST. But if you need a car to get around that you don't hate, that is cheap, that has good features, that has great gas mileage, this should definitely be a contender on your list, because I've really enjoyed this car while getting, as it says, my average is 40.8 miles to the gallon. And as you guys have seen, I haven't been on any highway. I haven't been, hyper miling it. I've been driving it around. Oh, that's a Tesla Model 3 in matte gray. That was really cool. I've just been driving this thing around, and I've been getting 40 miles to the gallon, and it's a 4-door. You can fit your friends. And so if you're looking to buy a new car that's cheap, I would definitely recommend checking out the Fiesta SFE. My other thought about this car before I actually got into it was, okay, you can get, like I said, Zach picked this car up for 10 grand. And I was thinking, well, on Craigslist, I could get like a used BMW 5 Series for 10 grand. I mean, really, you could buy anything on Craigslist for 10 grand. But let's just say 2005 5 Series, you could probably pick up for about 10 grand, let's say. And I was like, wow, I'd probably rather have the 5 Series than the Fiesta. But then I thought about how this has a 35,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty. It has a 50,000 mile powertrain warranty, and you can easily get parts for it, and you will easily be able to get parts for it for the next 10 years. Unlike the BMW, because let's be honest, when it breaks, you're probably going to be out of luck. Parts are going to be hard to find. Parts are going to be expensive when you do find them. And honestly, this is just the safer bet. So now it's time for the Zach score. Starting off with the weekend category. I'm totally kidding. You guys always say that I'm like Doug DeMuro. I respect Doug DeMuro a lot. I love his work. I think he's a huge inspiration. I'm not Doug DeMuro. But has Doug DeMuro done a Ford Fiesta? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the Ford Fiesta SFE. If you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshall.com/overdrive to read my full thoughts about the Fiesta SFE. But again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.